So in the last couple of months, we've been able to see activity by Telegram pro-jihadist members. These groups function as markets for illegal archaeological artifacts such as coin and figurines, which are sold in North Syria. Some of them just say, if you're a serious buyer, so private message me and we can talk about the price. It's really, really hard to know who these buyers are, but the fact that these groups were promoted by pro-jihadist Telegram members, it can give us an idea that the money from this trade could be used to buy weapons or to fund jihadist activity.
My name is Aisha Ahmed, and I'm the author of a book called Jihad & Co. Black Markets and Islamist Power. Smuggling of antiquities has become upwards of $1 billion industry, and when I was in the Middle East, I in fact found myself in a smuggler's bazaar in which I held a Byzantine artifact that was clearly coming right out of Iraq. And I gotta say, the jihadists really know what they're doing in this regard. They pretended to destroy all of the statues, saying, these are against Islam. What they were actually doing is destroying the most obvious ones that they would have a hard time smuggling out onto the illicit industry. Doing that gave the market the false impression that they had destroyed all of them, and so anything remaining must be really, really valuable. So they therefore inflated the price and then slowly tried to traffic those artifacts onto the illicit market.
Art crime is the fourth or fifth largest profit criminal activity out there after weapons, drugs, human trafficking. It's a very lucrative trade. I started working in Syria as an archaeologist in 1991 until 2010. Then when the Syrian civil war turned violent, I was one of the first projects to cancel. So one of the things that we work with is high-resolution satellite imagery that's provided through our cooperative agreement with the U.S. Department of State. We receive reports from heritage experts and activists on the ground who provide us with reporting, videos, and photography. The site of Dura Europos was at its height in the 1st centuries AD. A very important Byzantine-era site, and excavators there in the early part of the 20th century found spectacular archaeological remains, including a Jewish synagogue, which is famous for its wall paintings. Since about 2013, the site has been looted by different belligerent factions in the Syrian civil war. You can see the street network, the grid network of the Byzantine period city with its fortification wall and its towers and its citadel mound. And what we see now is that the majority of the site, the ancient city, has been looted. It's nothing but looter holes, 2, 3, 4 meters in diameter, sometimes down several meters deep. They've had to have found thousands and thousands of antiquities. So what we see in this video, it's young kids, young boys out looting a site, and they're using metal detectors. They find a Byzantine bezel ring. It's a simple find. They maybe get a few dollars for it, but on the market, it may go at the end market for a couple of $100s once it reaches Europe, the United States, or Canada. These kids get a couple of dollars for these finds at the end of the day, and it gives them a way to buy some food for their families. They're doing horrendous damage to this archaeological site. What's being lost at these sites is evidence of the world's first agricultural society, evidence for the world's first cities, the world's first writing systems. Here is a typical do-it-yourself looter who's tunneled into an archaeological site recovering Roman antiquities. Most of the stuff that he's finding here is worth a few dollars to him, but it's better than no employment at all. It's a way for him to feed his family and stay alive. That material was then smuggled by members of the Syrian regime into Lebanon. And the material went out with a lot of other contraband between the drug trade to Lebanon. It'll be loaded onto a boat with other contraband. The material will move to a port in Italy and from there on into Switzerland. It's usually moved by container, by lorry. It's hidden inside other objects, inside furniture. In some cases, they'll cast, plaster sculptures, and they put the antiquities inside the plaster casts. And the end point was the UK, where the material would be laundered onto the art and antiquities market or sold through private sales. For each of these organizations, it's millions of dollars that they're making a year off of this. I've seen antiquities on the Syrian market that if they were in museums, they would have insurance values well over $5 million a piece. I have seen lots of transactions that are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. What comes back in is weapons and personnel. One of the questions that I get is, shouldn't we maybe buy this material so that we can protect it, so that we can save it? But if we do that, if we're buying it, what we're doing is we're contributing to terrorist financing and warfare in the Middle East.
The relationship between transnational criminal networks and jihadists is very interesting because they're motivated by two fundamentally different drivers. On the one hand, the jihadists are interested in this apocalyptic narrative, so they're thinking about the hereafter. The business community that are involved in cocaine or opiate trafficking, they're looking for their bottom line in the here and now. They're materialists. And so you have this strange mix of ideologues and hyper-materialists coming together for mutual interest.